Hello, and welcome to the SpreadJS v17 release webinar. We will be going over all the new features that were added in this release. I wanted to give you a bit of info about myself. I am the product manager for Spread and have been working on the Mesh.js team for a little over 8 years now. I graduated from North Carolina State University with a bachelor's degree in computer science. In this webinar, I will be going over the new features that have been added, starting with the two new optional add-on components, GanttSheet and ReportSheet. Then we will move on to the enhancements made to charts, the workbook, the calculation engine, PivotTable, TableSheet, the designer component, and Sparklines. We are proud to introduce the new optional GanttSheet add-on. This new sheet type is essentially a full Gantt implementation inside of SpreadJS, allowing you to create things like work breakdown structures and production schedules, just to name a couple. It is a fast, data-bound data table view with Gantt chart behavior and a spreadsheet user interface. Using GanttSheet provides several benefits, including visual planning for a clear representation of project tasks, timelines, and dependencies, task dependencies that allow you to define and visualize task relationships, progress tracking for each task and the overall project, and deadline management that enables you to set and manage project milestones and deadlines. You can also manage tasks, sort, change calendar settings, and even import and export to SSJSON, SJS, and Excel. SpreadJS v17 marks the introduction of the new optional ReportSheet add-on. This is a new sheet type for SpreadJS that supports creating and managing reports. These reports can be important for creating marketing strategies, travel reports, sales track reports, employee reports, and more. Normally this can take a lot of time and effort to put together, but ReportSheet makes it a simple and flexible process. This new add-on supports data entry, pagination, data filtering, sorting, and conditional formatting. Using ReportSheet can provide a lot of benefits to your application, including integrated template and data management for seamless integration of report settings and data, enhanced flexibility of syntax and data entry API, ease of customization to maintain consistency across various datasets, and comprehensive data handling features. Now we will move on to our chart enhancements. We have added a new chart type to SpreadJS, the Waterfall chart. This shows a running total as values that are added or subtracted. These values are arranged as columns with positive and negative values and are color-coded in order to distinguish between the two. The initial and final columns are typically aligned against the horizontal axis, whereas the intermediate values are typically floating columns. Additionally, line charts in SpreadJS now support formatting with smooth lines. Similar to Excel, SpreadJS now supports inserting charts with multi-selections. In addition to selecting a continuous area of data, you can now also press the Control key to select multiple non-contiguous areas to create a chart. These ranges can be specified in multiple ways, and SpreadJS will create the chart accordingly. Charts have also been reworked to be shape-based rather than DOM-based. This is more of an internal change, and existing charts will not be affected, but there is now more support for Z-order management, grouping, and connecting with other shapes. The next set of features we will be going over are enhancements made to our workbook capabilities. SpreadJS now supports even more paste special options, including comments, validation, all using source theme, column widths, formulas and number formats, and values and number formats. Sheet tabs now support styles that the user can set. This style includes the text style, background color, and icon. Custom table column styles are now propagated properly when tables auto-expand. The top row changed and left column changed events now support pixel scrolling. Before this change, the entire row or column would have to be scrolled before the event would fire, but now it will fire and provide the scrolling status for any change in the scrolling when that option is enabled. SpreadJS now supports distributed horizontal alignment for text. This is similar to the center alignment, except it will also wrap text automatically. When importing Excel files, SpreadJS now preserves the sort condition so that it is not lost. The next set of features are the calculation enhancements. The image function has been updated to match Excel's implementation. This change includes changing the order of parameters, as well as adding the alt text and sizing parameters. The TableSheet window function has also been updated to include the frame group's frame type and the exclude parameter. The frame group's frame type is defined by groups as the starting and ending boundaries of the frame. The exclude parameter is an optional parameter that lets you exclude rows or groups from a frame. Two enhancements were made to the SpreadJS pivot tables. In order to better support pivot table and table font options, like in Excel, we have split the font options into different properties. Normally, the font property on a cell can be used to set all of the font options, but we have also provided an API to set the individual font options, like font family, size, weight, and style. SpreadJS also now provides an offset property to style specific pivot areas in a pivot table. You can use this offset to specify the row, column, row count, and column count of the area that you want to style. TableSheet also has a couple of enhancements in v17. The data manager supports adding fields from a data source, but it also now supports virtual columns with a formula data type. These formula columns can then be used in the view of a table sheet to show things like a running sum or a stock value ratio. Trigger formulas in a table sheet are formulas that calculate according to specific conditions or triggers. This means you can do things like recalculate data based on specific conditions, clean data when a new value is entered, or provide a default value for a column. As far as the designer ribbon component is concerned, we have made one big addition. SpreadJS supports adding custom shortcut commands for key combinations, and we have implemented a few that are standard to Excel in a separate project that users can download from GitHub. With the v17 release, we have added the shortcuts in this project to the SpreadJS designer ribbon component by default, so the shortcuts can be used without any extra code in the designer. SpreadJS v17 also introduces a new sparkline. The lollipop variance sparkline lets you show absolute and relative variances in a dataset. It is similar to a bar chart, but it reduces the display space by using lines instead of rectangles. As a result, they are more useful when dealing with large amounts of data. That concludes the SpreadJS v17 release webinar. If you have any questions or feedback on this webinar, please submit them to my email, which is provided here. If you have any sort of feature or component requests, please submit those using our support portal. You can view and interact with all of these new features in the SpreadJS demos using the link on this slide. If you haven't already, you can download a trial of SpreadJS at developer.messius.com/SpreadJS/download. Thank you for viewing this webinar, and have a great day.